Hey guys, I'm Geoff Fienberg here with oddschecker.com/US, breaking down week 16 in the National Football League. We are almost at the very end. Hopefully it's been a great fantasy season for you, DFS, your leagues. Otherwise, hopefully you're playing for a fantasy championship this week versus your best friends. Wouldn't that be exciting? We'll start off with quarterback. Desean Watson is my first lean for my DFS suggestions for week 16 in the National Football League for oddschecker.com/US. Desean Watson, $7,600 on DraftKings, $8,500 on FanDuel. One of the best things to happen to Watson this year has been the firing of Bill O'Brien. Since O'Brien is gone, Watson has been throwing at a much higher rate than usual. And quietly, but not so quietly. I mean, he did get selected to the Pro Bowl in a very competitive AFC. But despite Houston being absolutely terrible, Watson's been having an outstanding year. And probably quietly, all things considered, on an incredibly bad team. 4 of his last 5 games, he's had 24 or more fantasy points. This week he gets the Bengals. The Bengals coming off that great Monday night win versus Pittsburgh. But that was more because Big Ben looked like he was done. Toast, shot. Hopefully he can get rejuvenated for the postseason. The Bengals are still 27th against the pass per DVOA. Watson has only 3 games on the entire year with less than 5 rushing attempts, and we've been running more and running in for the touchdowns as they've been ineffective in so many ways. Watson getting it going for me, followed by Jalen Hurts. Woo, 7,000. Jalen Hurts, I'll pay that price on DraftKings. 8,200 on FanDuel. Hurts' biggest question mark was whether or not he could be an effective passer. And last week he started to answer that question. In a big way. Don't mind me. Last week we started to answer that question in a big way was Jalen Hurts. And obviously that means more fantasy point projections at this point for Jalen, because whether or not he can be a legit quarterback in the National Football League remains to be seen. But his fantasy value right now is outstanding in my opinion. He can get a huge price bump from last week, but rightfully so. Double-digit rushing attempts in both of his starts, and he just threw for over 300 yards. Dallas has a bottom 12 passing defense in the league. Hurts has a built-in floor because of that rushing. And if he smashes it and throws for another 300 yards, we're in for a huge game. To me, that rushing floor with the quarterback is incredibly important. I've seen a lot from Jalen Hurts. A lot. In 2 games, like you. Very impressed with what I've seen through 8 quarters of Jalen Hurts. Running back, Austin Eckler, guys. 7,600 on DraftKings, 7,000 on FanDuel. Eckler has projected the most fantasy points of any RB on this slate per my models. The Broncos look completely dead against the Bills the past week and completely banged up on the defensive side of the ball. Since returning, Eckler has had no fewer than 17 opportunities in every game. He's going to continue to get the bulk of the work at a very fair price. Allen and Herbert should be linking up all game. That Denver secondary is horrible, but I feel this is going to be the game where the Chargers are going to pass to set up the run. As crazy as that does seem, Chargers with some extra time off, having played Thursday, I think they'll be healthy. I'm scared, guys. I'm a Charger fan. This team is going to beat a beat-up Bronco team, and then they're going to beat the Chiefs playing for absolutely nothing week 17. And they're going to finish 7-9. Unbelievable. I'm not happy because I think they're going to keep their coach, and I'm going to have to shave my head. Merry Christmas. Gio Bernard, 4,800 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel. A risky play because 2 weeks ago we saw Bernard fumble and get benched, but we also watched him get 25 touchdowns. 25 touches and 2 touchdowns versus the Steelers. 1 rushing and 1 receiving. Joe Mixon still on IR as of right now, will not be playing this week. He's out again. Bernard continues to be the main back there. This is too good of a price not to play, in my opinion. Texans giving up the second most fantasy points to RBs on the year and are 30th overall per DVOA. The pricing just seems way off here on this one. Wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, 6,900 on DraftKings, 6,500 on FanDuel. Passing game in Cleveland has looked fantastic the last couple weeks. I don't even mind if you want to roll Baker at quarterback. I do favor his favorite pass catchers this week against a very poor Jet secondary. Jarvis Landry's had no fewer than 8 targets against the Rams, but they still aren't good. Whew, sorry, friends. Had to get that in there to finish strong. No fewer than 8 targets in his last 4 games for Jarvis. He also has 3 TDs and he also has a TD in 3 of his last 4. The Jets may have gotten that miracle win versus the Rams. They're still horrible. They're still the Jets. They're still 29th in the league per DVOA against the pass. And here they're giving up the 6th most fantasy points to wide receivers this year. We're going to roll Landry. CeeDee Lamb, 5,300 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel. Lamb has no fewer than 7 targets in 3 of his last 4 games, and he was lucky enough to find the end zone on a kick return on an onside kick for a touchdown last weekend. That's obviously not going to happen again, but I like the volume he is getting in the passing game. The Eagles are stout against the run when they rank 10th in DVOA, but they can be gotten against the pass, which has been the case all year, where they rank 23rd. They're also really banged up in the secondary, and we're missing multiple starters last week. I believe Slay was still out, probably their best corner. If they miss those guys again, I like CeeDee even more. Big late season for CeeDee Lamb. Still in a playoff race, the Cowboys. Still can't get that heartburn to go away. Fienberg. Bring your antacids for your Christmas, friends. Hope everyone has a great Christmas. Be safe, happy, do what makes you and your family feel the most comfortable. That's all I would recommend to you. And don't give anyone a hard time if they disagree with what your level of comfort is. It's where we are. Travis Kelsey, 8,500 on DraftKings, 8,800 on FanDuel. Say it again. Travis Kelsey is the best non-quarterback on the planet. Oh, that sucks for everyone else because they got the best player quarterback on the planet and Patrick Mahomes also. So tough luck, everybody, especially us in the AFC West. This could be a game where the Chiefs throw the ball almost every play in order to get Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes as many yards and TDs as they can before possibly resting them all in Week 17. Kelsey's production has been incredible. There isn't much else to say. He's 60 yards away, nearly. Can't help it. 60 yards away nearly from setting the single season set record for receiving yards by a tight end and 5 catches away from breaking the single season catches record by a tight end. I expect them to get them both this week, so I don't have to worry about them at all next week. If you do take Kelsey, you're going to have to punt on another position because he's quite expensive, but I'm willing to do that at this point. Jordan Atkins as my pay down option at tight end. Don't really like much of anything. 3,300 on DraftKings, 5,100 on FanDuel. Everyone remembers the play 2 weeks ago where the ball donked off his shoulder pads. It should have been a TD, but he couldn't see the ball because of the sun. If he would have scored, he probably would have been priced even higher, and his box score would have looked even better. He still has six targets in each of his last 2 games. The Bengals have given up the 6th most fantasy points to tight ends on the year. Jordan Akins is my role there. Defense, special teams to wrap this up. Eagles, 2,900 on DraftKings, 4,200 on FanDuel. Dallas is giving up the highest pressure percentage of anyone in the league by a decent margin. Their O-line is totally banged up, and Andy Dalton is, well, he's Andy Dalton. If he's pressured, there could be certainly some turnovers. Even with their banged up secondary, they're still getting the 5th highest pressure in the National Football League. I do like the Eagles in a way this week. I'm 10-5 on my best bet of the week as I give on the Pat Mayo experience. And my best bet this week is the Philadelphia Eagles. I was able to get in at the -2. I'm seeing some 2.5 now at the odds checker grade. I still like that if that is something you are into. And finally, for week 16, Seahawks, 2,600 on DraftKings, 3,900 on FanDuel. Surprisingly enough, the Seahawks have been a decent DFS defense despite not being very good in real life. They've 9 or more points in 4 straight games. This week they get the Rams, who will be forced to throw the ball, give up the 4th most pressures in the National Football League. Pressure leads to fantasy points. Pressure leads to fantasy points for defenses. And at their price point, they don't need to do that much to be a solid play for me. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Let's make it happen here in Week 16. I want all you to have a merry, merry, merry Christmas. Happy holiday season. All the best. All the love to you and those important to you. I'm Geoff Fienberg. We'll see you next week, Week 17. Hope you win your fantasy titles, friends.